ask Micky, first one from Ben Tipton, who is the biggest influence on your career as a player and as a manager, and why?
Biggest influence on my career, probably my late father. It was massive support to me all the way right through. Probably manager wise, I think I've been influenced by all the managers that I've worked with in positive ways. And you take all the little bits out of that, and you hopefully it helps you as a manager, or as indeed as a player as you go along. I still speak to a lot of my managers now, that were my managers. I speak to a lot of managers, but it's important to glean on their experience, and they've maybe gone through similar situations, or they might just pick something that you remember in the back of your mind, or something like that. So it's important that you continue to do that. So I hope that answers the question pretty. I wouldn't probably narrow it down to any one person other than probably my father, but managers and player pretty much everybody that I worked with, like Sam Allardyce and Ozzy Ardiles and Joe Jordan, a lot of good footballing people.
Excellent. Next one, we had a few about Aaron. This one's from Martin Dudley. Please can you tell us why?
It's a big question, isn't it?
I'll sort of paraphrase it a bit. With half a season gone, why is one of the most improved players of last season, Aaron Wildig, not been playing? Is he in your plans? And does he feature? And why is he not being allowed to show his talent?
I think it's probably that the lads who are in there probably come out the traps, if you like to call them, quicker in pre-season than Aaron. I think he probably might never come back as fit as what he could have done, so it probably put him on the back foot. That group of players then kept getting better and cemented a place in the team. So that's probably how it's gone. Aaron behind the scenes is having to work very hard, but the lads in the midfield have all done very, very well. I think everybody would have to say that. Does Aaron feature in your plans? I think everybody does. I think but your plans can only be short term in football, whether the results are whatever they are. So short term, Aaron will be in the squad tomorrow, and we'll keep moving it forward from there. And that's probably the best way that I could answer that question at the minute. But it's not because we've got any favourites or anything like that. It's just they probably come out of traps a little bit quicker and got some good performances and kept a hold of that jersey, like Woods and Wazalowski and etc. etc.
I suppose it shows with Liam Lawrence not still
Liam Lawrence as well. Well, he's fought his way back in as well. So it's a strong area of the team, the midfield, very strong.
Right, next one, a couple from Tom Williams, doing one at a time. Given the success we've had when we stay patient in possessions, you feel that the long diagonal switch, which has made goals like the ones against Bury, has become a bit overused, even towards the end of a winning run. Too much regular occurrence, which often gives possession to the opposition.
Well, without getting too technical, the reason there's a couple of reasons why we hit the diagonals. One is not to be too predictable. We have somebody who's very strong in the air, like John Lewis and certainly James Collins, that we want to mix up the way that we play. And I don't know if anybody notices that when you have the threat of a diagonal, it makes the back four that you're playing against play that little bit deeper because of the threat of that happening. So if you make their back four play that little bit deeper, it gives people like Woods and Wazalowski and Lawrence, etc., more space to play in. Whereas if you keep playing to feet and keep passing it in tight areas and back fours are allowed to squeeze up and you're not threatening the space in behind, you'll find it very difficult to play and it'll be comfortable for them to press you. So what we say is it's an option for the lads. It's not something that we say hit diagonals every single time. It's an option for them in order for us to make the game, the distance between the two back fours that much bigger, that enables people like Woods to have the room to play him. So I hope that doesn't sound too technical or too gobbledygook, but that's
makes perfect sense to me.
It's the reason why we do it. We want to force back fours deeper.
Cool.
And then we obviously, when we do hit the diagonals, we have the players know that we're hitting them, and they'll go and support that, and it'll enable us to play that a little bit higher at times. But it's not suddenly we're not going to become a long ball team. So over the season you've got to evolve your group, because if you keep playing the same way and you don't hit diagonals and you keep trying to play to feet and be intricate in a tight area, you'll find it very difficult.
Right, next part of Tom's question. You and the coaching staff often talk about the aim of keeping on improving the group and striving to be better. In the case of Jean-Louis Akpro, finishing is a bit of a weak area at times. At 29 years of age, do you still believe that this is an area that you can help and improve him on?
Yeah, we're always on at him. We're always practicing finishing, and John Lewis should do better, and he knows that. His all-round game is Tom is quite rightly said, is fantastic. It's a great weapon for us, and he should score more goals. And probably every manager and fan and player that's played with him has probably said that for a long time about John Lewis now. But his all-round game certainly adds to what we're capable of. He's a big part of that. But we'll continually keep prodding him to get better at that, get better at his finishing, and hopefully scores more goals for us. So is it something we accept? No, because that wouldn't be meaning that we were aiming to keep improving the group and striving to be better. No, we want him to get better at it.
I guess where we look at the Bury game where he sets his standard and gets 3 really good goals. Yeah,
well, that's what he's capable of. So if we can just get some consistency in that, and maybe we spoke about all different things with John Louis being a bit cooler, to be a bit more composure. Hopefully we achieve that, and he starts scoring more goals. He's a fantastic player. He's a good player.
Very nice man. Alan Higson. Why do you think there's such a difference between our awesome home form and our inconsistent away form?
Probably earlier on getting away early goals and finding it difficult. It's a different proposition, and you're trying to break down a team who's got a lead away from home, which changes the whole dynamics of what you're trying to do. We just got to keep working at it. I can only speak about last Saturday's game. We identified what we weren't good at, and how we should have managed the game better, and keep trying to move it forward. But it's certainly something that we're not shying away for or saying is acceptable. But we're a growing side, and certainly one of the things that we've got to get better at is managing the games better away from home, concentration at certain times, and adapting better at certain situations. Like, we come out with 2-0 up on Saturday and lose a goal after 30 seconds. I don't believe you can practice against that. I think then you've just got to then stick to the plan. So we've spoke about it, and then hopefully what you hope in football that you speak about it after that. You go into training next week and you speak about it, and then the next time it happens, we are better at dealing with that said problem. So that's the way we've approached it, and we'll try to get better all the time at it. And certainly we need to improve, but I think we've been alright. We've not lost an away game for a good few weeks now, and you can consider we've gone to Walsall as well, and among that, and lost a last minute goal there. Very lucky last minute goal, we'd have to say. We haven't done so bad, maybe just little moments maybe that we've got to concentrate on better.
All about concentration. Next one, a little quick one hopefully. Les Phillips, are you concerned about the number of silly yellow cards some of the players are getting? There must be a number of players near suspensions. We lost Ryan Woods last week, a couple of weeks ago.
I can't control a lot of the decisions that have been made against us with yellow cards. I don't want to start complaining and saying that it's not the players' fault, but in some situations I think we've been very unfortunate to gain a lot of the yellow cards that we have. We have received or contributed massively to getting some cheap yellow cards that again we have to be more streetwise and be better at. But to only have one or two suspensions up to now, like Liam and Woodsy, isn't bad considering the amount of games that all that group have played. It isn't terrible. But of course we'd always like to get better at it. There's no doubt about that. So again, you speak to the players and you say, look, don't try and pick up any cheap yellows. Sometimes your hands, it's a refereeing interpretation of a certain situation.
I suppose that's the thing with refs, isn't it? There's meant to be some sort of consistency between them, but some of the decisions you get are different depending on who's in charge.
Yeah, but to only have two players suspended for an amount of yellow cards, I think we're creeping up now. I think Sunday's this weekend's the last for 5 yellow cards. So when you consider we've played, I don't know how many games we've played, 23, 24, to only be picking up maybe 5 yellow cards or 4 yellow cards up until now, one every sort of 5 games. Ain't too bad.
Right, next one, Robert Eccleston. I would like to know if you're planning to put a bid in January for Bobby Grant, because I think he's a quality player and has a real asset to the club.
I don't think we'll be putting a bid in. We're not really in a position where we can buy players, but we're not really that type of club. Which is not something I complain about. That's what it's always been like. Bobby's done terrifically well for us. We're delighted to have him here, and we're hoping to keep him here as long as possible. He's Blackpool's player, and we'll continue to use him and get him fit. I don't think he's running at full capacity yet. I think he would probably, I'm in a spokesman all day, probably 70% fit to where he can get to, so that's quite exciting for us as well. He's getting fitter all the time, and we'll continue to enjoy having him here while he's here. But I don't think that we'll be buying people now.
You never know what you get for Christmas. Huh? Yeah. Chris Owen, why didn't you make a change earlier at Exeter? Maybe Griffiths for Lawrence, who was treading on thin ice, to shore us up a little bit to get us through to the final whistle. Not a complaint, just interested to see what your views on it from the stands.
I think that's a great question. If I tell you the mindset of where I was as the manager, we're 2-0 up at half time, and then what we do is we probably try and gauge or try and maybe every 15 minutes of the second half see where we're up to. And yeah, Liam was on a yellow, but we spoke to him at half time, and he's an experienced player, and he did get involved in one or two probably borderline little tackles, but I can only speak about the facts, and he never got a red card, so I can't say that we got that one wrong with him keeping him on. Shore us up. I didn't. You've got to look at what you've got to look at is the output of the other team. Were they creating an awful lot of chances? And I mean, we're just speaking about this today. You've got to either make a decision that this is the system that we play, and it's got to be able to adapt to problems that come its way, and you've got to allow it the chance to do that sometimes. And certainly we've spoke about before, in the situation that we were in, we sort of had a plan that what we would do if we were brought into that, and you've seen that at Chelsea. We didn't have to change it against Chelsea. We didn't have to change it against Leicester. We haven't had to change it many times. And it just didn't feel like we had to change it. It wasn't like they were creating many chances. in hindsight, who's never lost a battle, maybe we would have, but I just didn't think that there was the need to change it. I'll take responsibility for that at the end of the game, because in hindsight, maybe you would have. But we're all learning. I'm not saying that like my players, we don't want to try and improve and try and get better. Everybody's trying to improve, and trust me, we've gone over that with a fine-tooth comb that game. And if we believed that we had to change it, then we've spoke about that. But I don't know if we were under enough pressure. I trusted the players that we had on the pitch to be able to adapt to that. I don't remember. In fact, there wasn't any chances that was getting created against us. And I honestly felt like at the Dagenham game, you've got a decision to make it one each when you're down to 10 men. Do you go for it and go for the winner and get caught on the counter attack, and everybody says you should have accepted the point, or do you try and win the game? And I think we should always try and win the game. I think that's my mentality, is because we all seen what happened at Dagenham, we keep trying to win the game, and we did. And on other occasions it might not work out, but I think as the manager here, I always want to try and be front foot and believe that we can win the game. And that was probably our mentality. But we're looking at different things, and if we feel that we can learn from that, then we will.
Final one from Tom Gardner. When are we going to learn to keep the lead and use it to our advantage? At the start of the season, we were conceding early on and late on. Those little errors cost us dearly, or cost us dearly at the end of the season. Our players need to be strong from minute 1 to the 90th minute. Maybe a small error, and then we're chasing the game.
Well, we're third, fourth, so we've got something right at the minute. So it would mean that we've kept the lead quite a lot. Yeah, on occasions, Saturday, because maybe that's what everybody thinks about is just Saturday. Now, it would be wrong of me just to throw everything out the pram and totally start again because of Saturday. I've got to take the season as a whole, and the cup games as well, as a whole, and pre-season. And learning to keep an advantage. We must have done at some stage, must have done it more than a lot, because of where we are, the situation we're in. So yeah, we want to try and get the perfect game. We want to try and aim for the perfect game, and we've spoke about what we should have done, but we never said on Saturday, let's go and lose a goal after 30 seconds, and then sort of come off what we do, and lose our way a little bit. But we'll get better at that. We'll keep speaking to the players all the time. We're playing a system that we're learning about all the time as well, and we'll keep ploughing forward. That's the main thing. Is we want to keep improving things, and we acknowledge that to be 2-0 up and to lose 3-2 is poor. It's poor. But we will look over that, and we'll try and improve in that and change the mindset in that, and that's what we've worked on this week. But over the course of the whole season, I don't remember many times that we've lost leads. I can't remember many times.
There's been a few sort of early goals, but then we've come back, which we've done quite well.
Yeah, maybe come back or whatever. So no, it's important, and like you say, our players need to be strong from minute 1 to minute 90. Yeah, they absolutely do. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I guess it shows from these questions the emotion, though, innit? As soon as you lose a game, fans are sort of a bit concerned, but in the middle of it, there's a manager who has to stay calm and rational.
Yeah, you've got to look over the whole season. I mean, we've gone Exeter. A lot of questions, but I've got to think longer, bigger picture type of thing. I can't just react to the last half. Although there's things in it that I thought, oh, right, we need to get better at that. We need to get better at that certain situation, and we need to get better at that certain technical thing. We need to work on that. but it's important that I identify that and I speak to the players about that, and then we work on that. And although there'll never be any guarantees in football, you just hope that by working at it and keep working at it, that it gives you a better chance of success, because it's never guaranteed. This is football, otherwise it would be boring. But I think over the course of the season, with 19 new players, we know that we're going to learn, and we're going to have to keep learning. And will we ever become the perfect team? I don't know, what is that perfect team? But we'll keep working towards that. And then even if we probably go there, I would probably be asking for more. So we'll just keep walking forward. But I did some fantastic questions, and I'm glad that people are asking them, and hopefully I've answered them as honest as I can. I haven't, as I never have. I've just seen them, haven't I? You just gave me them. I try and answer them as open and as honest as I can. Excellent. And keep trying to improve myself, and keep trying to improve my team and the players, and we'll stay that way.
Thank you very much.